Hey, Bob. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have you here. First, because we know each other personally. You're also in the Pittsburgh area with me, which is awesome. Will you tell everyone hello and tell them a little bit about you?
Hi, my name is Robert. Call me Bob. That'd be awesome. I've been a personal trainer for a little over 25 years. In that time, I've been a natural bodybuilder. I've been an MMA fighter, and I trained some fighters and trained some just everyday people. So that just gives you a real broad overview. I've been doing this for a little over 25 years, and I have a little bit different way that I approach it than most trainers. So I'd like to talk to you about that a little bit today.
I'm so excited. This is going to be a great episode for any business leader out there who is like, I want some fitness tips. Like, I really want to know how to get fit myself. Or for people who are interested in developing a corporate wellness program, which I know is one of your other specialties. We're going to dive into that as well today. So my first question for you though is, how did you get in fitness? Like 25 years is a long time. So how did you first get into it?
Well, it first started when I was younger. A quick funny story. I started wrestling when I was 6 years old, and
Wow.
my type of wrestling was Hulk Hogan style.
Okay.
So that's all I knew, like as a kid. So my dad took me there because I was a bit aggressive. And long story short, when they put me on the mat and said go, I picked the other kid up and slammed him like I saw on TV and learned
Mhm.
that wasn't. So that was my first experience in wrestling and with some new coaches, and it actually got me noticed. And that's where I really just realized the competition factor and the just the discipline you have to have to do a sport
Mhm.
like that. So
Mm.
that's honestly what most people hate about it is kind of what I fell in love with.
That's so cool. And I'm sure like that discipline carries over with you as you run your own business as well. Like I'm sure there's some really interesting parallels, but can you talk to me more about the MMA fighting? I'm not into it, but I feel like my dad and my brother really like that kind of thing. So tell me more about what you did there. And again, like how does maybe training in that also help in the business world?
Well, and with MMA fighting is that's another kind of a funny story. I was at a crossroads in my life, I guess at that point. I was a natural bodybuilder for a while, and there's not a lot of money in it. And
Mhm.
it's great sport, don't get me wrong, but you don't get a lot of recognition, and it's kind of hard. You get to a level, and
Mhm.
that's kind of where it is. So basically, I went to a gym with a friend of mine who was working out of state. And he was like, hey, man, I went to this MMA gym. It's really cool. And I did some boxing back in the day and some other stuff. So I was like, yeah, let's check it out. So I went up to visit him for a weekend, and I got there and started training a little bit. It so happened, long story short, that I trained with one of their fighters that had a fight that weekend, and I
Mhm.
ended up knocking him out. And their coach was like, do you want to fight? And 2 weeks later, I literally, 2 weeks of training, I got into the cage and I had my first fight.
Wow. Oh, you're a quick learner. That's insane.
Well, I did have 20 years of wrestling. My wrestling was
True.
my base. I mean, I did start when I was 6. I wrestled up through high school and college,
Mhm.
and I did a little bit of amateur boxing, but it was one of those, I don't know, like kind of puzzle pieces fit at that time. And as
Yeah.
strange as it sounded, it ended up turning into something really, really cool for me.
That's so cool. I love that. It's like not my world at all, but I love people who are in it and can do it. And I admire that a lot.
I think the thing that people don't understand about MMA fighting, and I'll be quick about it, but is it's a chess game. People look at it as brutality, like
Mhm.
people just beating the crap out of each other. But they don't realize the angles, the way it's a chess game. While we're moving, we're looking to see what mistakes each other is making or where
Mhm.
you can capitalize. And you're using your body literally as a chess piece. It's not,
Mhm.
there's times where it can be brutal, but the art of it, when you actually get into it, you see the art in it. And that's
Mm.
what I think people need to see a little bit more. And that's part of my training, what I provide. Every person I train, we do a little bit of boxing.
I've seen that. I've seen someone like because I know you post a lot on LinkedIn, so I've seen those clips of like women who are just like doing like the punching bag or hitting. Um, Tell me why do you think that's so important for everyone to do?
Well, not only is it one of the greatest full body workouts you can get, I mean, anybody who gets in, even if you're not sure exactly what to do, if you get in front of a bag with some gloves on and you throw for a minute straight, your
Mhm.
full body is going to be wore out. Your lungs, your arms, your legs. And like, for an example, my football player, I have a high school football player who is a really, really good quarterback. Well, if you think about it, throwing a right hand is very similar to him throwing a pass with a football. And
Mm.
his issue his dad had with his football now is as he's moving up in levels, he has to be able to let that ball go faster, a little more hip toss, a little more power, zip.
Mhm.
So we started doing boxing simply for him to show him how to get so used to that hip firing 1,000 times that
Uh-huh.
now he throws the ball faster, he throws the ball harder, and with a lot less effort.
That's so cool. I never would have thought how important that is for someone in that realm. And I bet you could give me like 1,000 other examples of how it helps people in different fields.
Yeah, it
For
does, and like with Andrea, the other girl that I post with a lot, she enjoys it literally. Number one, to get stress out, and number two, to just honestly never to hopefully have any issues, but to just know how to defend herself a little bit and feel a little more confident if something
Mhm.
would happen that she could find a way out of the situation safely.
That makes so much sense because I was thinking again in business, like if I could just punch every day at the end of my day, I'm sure it would like let off stress like a lot better than like sitting down in front of the TV and just like eating or snacking. And then you're right, like especially for women, a little bit of self defense is not a bad thing whatsoever. So that makes so much sense to me. I want to ask you earlier. You mentioned that you have like a different kind of method when you train people that other fitness coaches don't do. So part of it's like the punching and the fighting. What else do you do that's different than other fitness coaches out there?
Well, a lot of what we do is the nutrition factor is a lot different. I don't cut carbs. I don't go on intermittent fasting. I don't do a lot of, and I'm not saying they're bad. I don't do a lot of fad diets.
Mhm.
I fit the nutrition into your schedule, into what you're eating. I look at what you're eating and I find ways to implement nutrition that actually fits what you like and
Mm.
gives you choices. The biggest problem I find with most people that I train is they're like, I don't want to cook separate meals for myself and my family.
Yes.
So I've came up with a method over these 25 years of 1,000 meals that I have that I can give to you that you will be able to create that your whole family can eat and enjoy. And believe me, I have 4 girls, so my girls can attest to that. And number two, the different approach, and this depends on what program you pick. But I also have a foods company that I work with in Pittsburgh called Longevity
Mhm.
Life. And basically you can pick out each meal that you would like to have from them. And you tell me, we go through their meals, we count your macros and we set them up.
Yeah.
And Longevity Life will actually ship the meal straight to your house. I work with them in case to where I pay them, they ship them to your house, and that becomes part of your program. So your meals
So
are there,
cool.
they're cooked, they're ready. All you have to do literally is take them out of the dry freezer, put them in the containers, warm them up,
Yeah.
and they're an amazing, high quality. And most of the food, especially for Pittsburgh people, is sourced from Pittsburgh farms or from Pennsylvania. So it
So
really helps out the
cool.
community also.
I'm
Because
gonna
small businesses, you really want to try to help each other out in any way
yeah.
possible, especially good businesses.
Yeah, and especially if it's like locally grown and if it customizes with macros. I'm gonna chat with you offline because I have tried all the meal plan services, but then it never hit macros or my kids would not eat it. Like it just was not a full family meal. So that's a really cool resource that you have. Um, One question I want to ask you is I know that when you work with a lot of like business leaders or professionals, I'm sure they tell you the same three things that either they don't have time or they travel too much to be able to stay eating healthy, or they sit all day. So, how, if most of the clients you are working with are, professionals, nurses, or business owners or entrepreneurs, how do you overcome those real life problems?
Well, for online, because we do 3 services, I do in-house services, which is private gym, and it's
Mhm.
full functional. Also, online services. With online, I use an app called Trainerize, And it literally, I'm allowed to go in and literally set your macros, set your calories, and you have it right on your dashboard. So I show you how to implement your meals that I
Mm-hmm.
give to you. And as you implement them, it lets you know exactly how much of everything you have left throughout the day.
Cool.
So not only do you have that, but the meals that I implement are personal. So I'm able to see kind of what you do like and what your family kind of eats. And then we
Mm-hmm.
dive into that to make that meet up with the macros. Because I feel that if you're eating food that you enjoy, especially food that is easy, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to follow the program. So
Yeah.
that's one of the major differences I have. The workouts are way different. But
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely a major difference that I have. I really dive into your nutrition because I think the gym is where you do the work, but the kitchen is where you show the work.
Okay, so I know that nobody can see. You have like very impressive abs. It's like on your LinkedIn profile picture. So if you had to decide between nutrition versus fitness, like is it like a 50-50? Is it like an 80-20? Like what's most important in getting what everybody wants, which is abs?
I would say most important right now, depending on your age and where you're at, is your recovery and your meals. You can have I've had people of all ages have very, very strong core, but never be able to see it because what happens is there's a layer of skin, a layer of fat, and a layer of muscle. And when that fat and that muscle separates to where that skin cannot connect with the muscle anymore, now you
Mhm.
have a really hard time losing all that fat. And then you have the visceral fat in between the organs. And when you're able to lose all that fat at one time by running through my nutrition plans, that I think is the key to abs, to, being tight.
Yeah.
And then along with there is a secret, and I'll give this to everybody today. It's a very cheap secret for abs. L-lysine at night will help your
Okay.
body melt belly fat specifically. It will target belly fat. Ginger root along with it, which you take in the morning,
Mhm.
will optimize your metabolism and regulate your water intake. And moringa powder also helps aid in L-lysine burning your fat at night, and it stops your sugar cravings after 4 days.
Wow. Wait, what is
And
that? I've never even heard of that first one. Is it lysine? Is that what you're saying? What is
L-lysine, it's an herb that most people don't know about. You can buy it literally at the local store. It's like $5 for 50-day supply.
love that.
Or you
Wow.
can buy a
Okay.
tub. Now the pills are, I will tell anybody who's listening, the pills are large. So
Mhm.
my wife found L-lysine. You can order it through Amazon, and she
Mhm.
ordered a big tub of it, and it's powder. It's tasteless. She loves it, and she take it
Wow.
every night. And it is literally, I think it's like 3 cents a scoop.
That's so nice because sometimes you get on the supplement companies and it's like $90 for like a bottle. I literally bought one that was like $90 recently and it hurt. Okay, okay, I will be. We will. I think everybody down here is like writing these out and like to go buy. No, that's so cool. I love that you're so practical too about like what works and like you can just skip like the fluff and just work with someone who knows what they're doing. I want to talk about corporate wellness programs because I know that's something you're really passionate about, something that you can do here, especially with companies in Pittsburgh. So, what should a corporate wellness program look like, and what are the benefits?
Well, first, what it should look like is each individual in a business is different. So the first thing that I do when I set up a corporate wellness program is I talk to the business leaders, but I also talk to some of the employees because I want to know some of the background of what they're kind of doing and what their health, and wellness is about at
Mhm.
that point in time. And then the nice thing about the program is if we do the online program, each individual can have their own workout, their own dashboard, and then we can group things together also to where if you're more of one of those people who you want to do your own thing, then you're happy. I set you up on a program where you have your own workouts. You're able to do them on
Mhm.
your own time, and we're able to adjust them to fit your fitness level. But I
Mhm.
also have fun classes where you go in as a group, your workers, and you go onto an online room and you all work out. And I don't want to say it's a competition, but it's kind of fun to see, hey, who did better at this? Who did better at that?
Mhm.
And because everybody's not doing exactly the same workouts, each individual is separate, the results always vary.
Mm-hmm.
and it always makes it interesting in that aspect. And then the fact that once these people realize that it's not a regimen, like you're not in the gym for an hour, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't want to do that. They understand how much fun it can be and that they're able to do it on their own time, 15 minutes. And then with the wellness program, I set those people up with charts most of the time. So it's very simple for their nutrition plan. They'll have their proteins lined up. They'll have their fatty proteins, but everything's lined up in a color coded chart. So
Mm-hmm.
then I make a pie chart for their meals, which is very simple. And then we're able to adjust it to their food. Because just
Cool.
because you work with somebody doesn't mean you eat the same types of foods or you have the same type of family structure. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to individualize each person's meals to fit their core, their family, but keep it all on a program together where everybody's able to track each other. And then the fact that when you do a program like this, you realize that not only my average right now for my wellness programs is their attendance went up 65% in the first 4 months.
Wow. Of like employees showing up to do their jobs.
Employees being there, being healthy. And in the end, the one company that I just went through working with, I've been working with them for 4 months. They just saved over $6,000 in that month on their medical insurance because I worked with them for 9 months and they haven't had one person that had to go to the hospital for anything except a checkup. With all these
Wow.
people being sick over this last year, we were
That's
able to keep
massive.
their employee attendance rate went up over 65%, and their revenue. Their employees are happier. They realize that their leaders want them to be in better shape, want them to
Mhm.
be, happier. And now they're able to get better incentives. It really, really circles around the whole board for the company.
That's so cool. I mean, I've worked at companies where just internally we would do like a plank challenge, and that was so fun. And I did look forward to it. But if you actually made it into a system and then it also saved on health insurance costs and employees showed up because they're healthier and also having more fun, I feel like that's like a no brainer for anyone who has a company who needs employees to be showing up healthy every single day.
It is because the way it works, you literally are saving money by paying me for the plan because you
Yeah.
save more from your insurance company after the first 6 months than I ever charge you. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, not to get into the statistics of it, but they're able to use that as an expense. And a health and wellness program really changes, like I said, the insurance, the way their insurance works, and just the employees. Like you find when you are in there with other people, you normally, most of us tend to find a buddy that we'll be more accountable to than
Mhm.
ourselves most of the time. So
100%.
if you know that your friend's going to show up and you got to be there for her, even when you don't want to and you might not show up for yourself, you're going to show up
Yeah.
because you want to be there for your friend.
That's so true. That is kind of like human nature. And will you also share what you do with Carnegie Mellon? Because I think that's really cool what you do with them, and it's such an impressive school. So I'm curious, like, what you do with that organization as well.
Okay. Now that is one of my favorite jobs. And that is truly where you can find that anybody who works there, I can truly say, does not do it for the money. Okay.
Mm.
The students there are amazing. My nutrition game has upped so much from Carnegie Mellon. I work with students from all over the world. 60% of our students are not from America. They do
Wow.
not come from, and I think I have maybe 5 students from Pittsburgh area.
Hmm.
So they eat foods, they do things that was not familiar with.
Hmm.
So working with them though, in the long and short of it, I teach 2 gym classes, which my gym classes are based on fun. They're a pass or fail class.
Hmm.
People who don't know enough about CMU, it's Pittsburgh's Harvard. I mean, it is
Yeah,
difficult to get into
it's a
and
hard
they don't
school.
accept a lot of people. So their academics is crazy. So when we do gym class, not only do we have fun with our workouts, but every single time we have gym class, we play dodgeball the last 10 minutes.
So fun.
That is the greatest thing that they enjoy because not only some of them have never even played, so they just playing is fun. And
Mm-hmm.
number two, they get to be that kid again for
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes a day. So I teach 2 gym classes, personal fitness classes. We do go over workouts, how to make a workout, how to train
Mm-hmm.
people, but we mostly try to have fun. Then I do some personal training. I train students and staff. And then also I teach a boxing class, and then I teach in their group classes, and I teach a group fitness class where we do a whole body workout, 30-second rounds, and we use a little bit of dumbbells, a little bit of body weight, music very loud, and
Yeah.
just having fun and just kind of letting loose a little bit. I really, really enjoy working at Carnegie Mellon.
That is so cool to hear. Well, that leads into my next question. So, you work with one of our marketing assistants, Saba, and not a lot of people know you can hire someone like Saba in Ethiopia to help you with like LinkedIn or any other thing you might need. So, what was your first impression when you knew we were hiring from Africa? And do you think working with Carnegie made you more open towards like knowing that great talent is everywhere in this world?
I definitely do think so. I thought it was very, very cool, that what you guys do and how that you do it. And I have nothing but great things to say about Sawa. She's been the bestest, and I've had plenty of assistants. I've had plenty of people help me out, from here, from PA, from everywhere. She has been the greatest. As far as like communication wise, she's able to get a hold of me anytime we need to. We just spoke today, in fact, 15 minutes
Mhm.
before this call. And just the amount of talent she has to be able to do what she does for me and help me out. And then just when I have questions, we just kind of will have a conversation because she has a lot more knowledge in the technical field than I do. And
Mhm.
she's really able to make it to where I understand exactly what she's telling me. And that's what I enjoy about it. I don't feel like I'm underwater or somebody so far above my head that I'm like what?
Mhm.
But it's been the most amazing experience for me with everything because of just how open we are able to be and just how easy it is for us to communicate and get things done. This is going to be, but I'll be there forever. But yeah, I'm hoping to have 5 more Sabas in the next couple of years, and
Yeah.
I will always hire with you guys because of just the quality of
That
everything, the communication aspect, everything.
That is so nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate those kind words. Well, just to start wrapping things up, the last question we always ask our guests is: have you ever been anywhere in Africa? And if not, where would you want to go? Like, if we gave you a free plane ticket to the African continent, what would you want to see? Where would you want to go?
Honestly, I have never been there. I've been all around the United States, but that's about as far as it's been. I would love to go to Ethiopia because I think, like, I watched, and this is probably falls on it, but I watched a video of bodybuilders in Ethiopia.
No way. Okay.
They were the most interesting humans. I watched a man, I was so impressed. He set up a set of pipes in the mud with water, and he
Hmm.
used it as a treadmill. He would spill the water down on his feet, and I know everybody, oh, it was amazing.
Uh huh.
Then they took different car parts and they would use a different measurement scale to weigh. They would know what something weighed, and they
Yeah.
would almost do it like and I don't mean to be funny, but like on The Price is Right, where you set the scale and you see if it's even.
Yeah.
They would be like, okay, I know this is 54 pounds. So that's how they would set their weights and
Yeah.
know, because these guys didn't even have a scale to use to weigh something. And the amount of things that they came up with, the workouts, I literally used some of the movements
So
simply
cool.
because they are so creative. So that's where I would like to go. Not only would I like to just see how the culture is, because for me it would be amazing, but I would also like to work out with people and,
Yeah.
like see let them run me through a workout and see if I can
I
handle it.
they do work out. I have some funny stories that I know we don't have time for, but yeah, I mean they it's the home of like so many Olympic athletes have come from Ethiopia. So not just running, but it's yeah, if you want to get in shape, go to Ethiopia for a little bit and you will be in good shape. And also they have great like natural healthy food as well. So it just kind of like pairs well together. But that's amazing. And then Bob, for anybody who wants to work with you, tell them, like, do you only work in Pittsburgh? Do you work outside Pittsburgh? How does that work? How do people reach you? Like all that good stuff.
Okay, so I do have our website that's up right now, and we are revising it, but at www.beastbodytraining.com. You can reach me there. On LinkedIn, you can reach me on my profile, Robert Tipinski. But I work with anybody in the United States and in Canada right now. I have 3 Canadian clients. I do a combination of in-house if you want to come here, if you're close. I do a hybrid where you can come here once or twice a month and you can be on the app also. Or I do a complete online service where everything is online. We meet every single day. You're able to message me back and forth, just like a text message. We meet once a week for a half-hour Zoom call, and I set everything up, your videos, everything. They're completely customized and completely fit exactly what you're supposed to have.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to put all of that in the show notes. But I just have to say, like, because I know you on a personal level, like I know the work you do is incredible. So for anybody out there, especially business leaders, companies who want to have good abs, be healthy, be fit, all of that good stuff, I definitely recommend at least setting up a call and learning more how to get going with you. So thank you, Bob, for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, Val.